By the fact that that says I'm live, hello. How's it going? Our second night in a row, we are going into Breakdown. Obviously, we had the Halloween special of primetime yesterday, and, well, I was very tired, let's be honest. It was a late one. So we're starting earlier tonight. We're going into an epic night of action here. 6 big bouts. 6 beautiful bouts. All on the docket. No title matches, but there's some stacked up battles, to say the least. And let's get into our opener tonight. It is in the women's division, and it is set to be crazy. Gnarly, some may call it. Because everything's gnarly. And I'm, gnarly. Yeah, I don't know why I'm singing, but it's a good gap filler for this. Straight into the breakdown arena for tonight's episode. And we're kicking it off with a brutal beginner. Some call this the fallout of Halloween, with the Eradicator set for action.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from Adelaide, Australia, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea tonight, coming into this one, really on a warpath, trying to get to winning ways here on Breakdown. A woman who stands in front of her is a woman she has beaten before in Liv Morgan. But Morgan obviously does not know who her number one contender is. Rhea wants to get into that position, wants to be a challenger. That obviously will come if she can win here tonight. A loss puts her in contention of losing number one contendership to her opponent, obviously, but Rhea in the better position overall for rankings. Mommy set to maybe reap the rewards of an opener tonight, as she's set to face La Premiera. Stephanie Vaquer continues to bring that demon energy.
And her opponent from San Fernando, Chile, Stephanie Vaquer.
In the green tonight instead of the typical red that we usually see her in. And, well, Vaquer looks excited, looks ready to face Rhea. Those two, you'd say similar in look, similar in style. Only one of them can pick up a victory here tonight. And Premiera makes a slow walk to the ring. And, well, Rhea is in for a bit of a difficult battle. The reigning WWE Women's Champion, the winner of the Crown Jewel Championship as well. Vaquer looks ready, as does Ripley. Let's get it on here to start this one off. They go for a collar and elbow. Power you expect to favor Rhea, but only slightly. Mommy, a lot stronger in terms of physique, in terms of just ability to throw caution to the wind and explode into matches. Vaquer, a little bit more on the lean side in terms of how she likes to perform. She brings power, but she also brings the potential to fly. And that high-flying aspect is usually how she scores victories, as we tie up for a second time. Vaquer, technically sound in her style, takes the wrist lock here over Rhea. I'm going to apply more pressure. That's being wrenched heavily here. Wrist control giving Vakir a better position, but Rhea going to turn it around. Get her own wrist control in play. Once more, Vakir takes over the position, applying damage to the shoulder and elbow of Rhea. And this is a good process for Vakir. Weakening the arms is certainly prevalent. You take away the ability to lift, you take away power with the punches, the fists, strikes that Ripley might want to go for. And as these two ladies tie up for a third time, Rhea takes waist control. And she can look to transition, maybe no, but there's a visible concern on Rhea's face as well. Vakir breaks the hold, but she's going to be put down. Snapmare into the side headlock. Escape through the hole. Good work there by Vakir to take arm control here from behind. You can really transition into some things here, but Ripley turns it into a side headlock. She gets out of the hold and she can be caught. Well, she is caught. Waist control yet again here for Vakir. As these two ladies showing a technical masterpiece to start this one off. Expect either a German mat takedown or a push off here. It's actually going to be an arm drag. And Rhea takes the headlock in a full mount position. Wrenching on it pretty deep there is Rhea, and she could transition it into a pin. She could also transition it into a strike, and that's what she's going to do. She causes Vakir to escape the ring, and the battling begins on the outside. A clubbing blow connects to Stephanie as Rhea is taking over, coming out of the early chain grappling. A lot of focus on this match would be on Rhea, really, here in IPW. I feel one of the stars that's kind of been overlooked in terms of going towards the titles. Only had one shot at facing Fallon Henley, and there was no build-up to that matchup. It was just a thrown to get a match, because that's the sort of skill Rhea has. She can put on an epic in a moment. But right now, she's got to deal with Stephanie Vakir. The count reaches an 8, and both ladies returned into the ring. And from this position, as a beautiful DDT connects, Rhea just needs to build some momentum. Similar story for Vakir, who eats the feet. Put that to the jaw of Rhea. Beautifully executed. Goes for the pin as well here. But you think Rhea's been on the lookout. She's been trying to get into the title scene. Here on Breakdown, the chance to do that certainly a little better because of the title's lineage is very much only a one-woman show. Rhea has the potential to be a challenger that can certainly be difficult for Liv Morgan. And I know I am hyping up Rhea here versus Stephanie. Stephanie could potentially be an opponent, but let's be honest, right now, the favor is with Rhea, who's getting SVB'd by Stephanie. The knee to the back could seal the deal here, but a 2 count only going to be the result we see. It's all the SVB is good for in this stage of the match anyway. Rhea needs to turn the tune of this match. She needs to get into her winning ways. She's currently not there just yet. Goes for the pin here. And we look at Rhea as an overall star here in IPW. She was able... Well, she wasn't in... Well, she was in the Showdown. The Road to Showdown, qualified in 3rd seed in the Gold League. And she put up a good showing as she's going to Riptide. Fakir here plants her and stacks her up. Gets the dummy mummy pin, only for good enough for a 2, but it was a near fall. Almost ended the bout right there. You look at the Gold League overall. Liv Morgan finished 1st in that division as well. Vakir's getting Alabama Slam. That was pretty hefty. Liv really showcased her skills in that tournament. Now Vakir needs to fight out of whatever Rhea's going for, but Rhea's just going to plant her with another Riptide. Down for the count. No, nearly gets it. It felt like it was over there, but Rhea and Liv, storied history, obviously. I've got a feeling, though, it's history that's going to be reignited here in IPW. Another woman who also faced Liv Morgan was Stephanie Vakir. Losing effort there for her. But she's grown since then, I feel, here in IPW. She's lining up Ripley. Springboard up, over, misses. Crossbody attempted, but failing to land onto Rhea, who just fires back with some shots. But now Vakir turns to tight center running. A drop down. Make it a leapfrog. Why not? Yeet! The super kick to the face. And it's followed up with a lariat. Yeah, I'm looking at the history in the Showdown just for Rhea Ripley. Her final match against Liv Morgan. Final day as she lands the frog splash. My word, that's a bit of Vakir used against her. Almost nets the 3 as well. But close, but getting back on topic, it was Rhea versus Liv Morgan. The final day of the Showdowns tournament bracket. Rhea won it. And she won it by doing this. Riptide for the 3rd time. Sealing the deal here on Vakir. And Mommy earns her victory here tonight. A lot of ladies here in IPW really putting their name in for potential challenger. Rhea eats defeat early, but Vakir really didn't get too much offense in onto Ripley after this SVB. And Rhea from there does what she does best, dominates, and puts Vakir down and out for the count. And yeah, looking at records here, there's probably only one other woman on a similar warpath to Rhea, and that is about we're going to see later on tonight. Obviously, if you've been keeping up with Breakdown, we've been having these mini eliminators. Obviously, Lash Legend won against Becky Lynch, Big Time Bex, week 1. She then lost to Io. Flair beat Asuka. So this week we obviously will have Charlotte Flair versus Io in our main or co-main event. And that leads us to potentially a Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair and or Io Sky clash in the future. That could be pretty epic. We'll see what our general manager, Solo Sikoa, decides to do next week. But yeah, Rhea netting herself a big victory here to start off Breakdown. And, well, from one big victory to something that I have been told by our general manager. Solo Sikoa spoke to me earlier. He said, hey, he's got these two jabronis asking him for a match, and he has given them it. He's granted it to them. They wanted to team up together to face another team. Apparently it's for a better qualification for a title. I don't know. That's all he really was saying before he started mumbling under his breath. But yeah, it was a weird conversation that was held. Let's get into this matchup then, shall we? Well, well, this is interesting. I have a feeling I didn't expect Solo Sikoa to call this guy a jabroni. What?
Introducing first, from Silsbee, Texas, weighing in at 362 pounds, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Based on what Mike Rome just said, I think he's calling Mark Henry's opponents jabronis. Because this is a handicap match. Presumably against Mark Henry. I am obviously assuming it could be the other way around. Mark might have found a friend to beat up someone else. That is me jumping to conclusions. Well, this is a song in the Meta 4. And that is Noam Dar. No, it's Oromensa, sorry. I couldn't tell based on that distance. But the metaphor coming out to this.
And their opponent, representing Meta 4, from Ghana, West Africa, weighing in at 198 pounds, Oromensa.
Well, it seems that we're getting Oromensa versus Mark Henry, as well as presumably Oromensa's partner, who one could assume might be Noam Dar, purely based on the fact that the Meta 4 music played and it is a 1v2 match. I highly doubt this is going to be a mixed tag situation, because no way in the world would you put either Jakara Jackson or Lash Legend up against Mark Henry unless you want to crush their spirits. Yeah, well, we know it's Meta 4. There's 3 options. We already ruled out 2 of them. And there's the third option. Noam Dar out for this one.
And representing Meta 4, from Ayr, Scotland, weighing in at 178 pounds, Supernova 11, Noam Dar.
So it is the Meta 4 versus the world's strongest man. The rules slightly changed for this matchup compared to a normal battle. No pinky, no party. There's Noam Dar keeping it tranquilo. Definitely not telling us to do something down there, but Yes, let's see how this goes. It's Mark Henry versus the Metaphor, who are in unison. Let's get it on. And boom! Down goes Dar to start this one off. Henry's shaking off a blow from Aura Mensa and just dropping him immediately. This is a Mark Henry effect. And this situation is very difficult for the Metaphor to battle in. Henry is resilient. He can absorb shots. Why are we focusing on Dar when Henry is delivering a big time maneuver? Once again, it's shaking off the strikes. It's the booty bumps. And Dar caught a lockup, forces a situation. This is boom. You gotta feel that Mark Henry is slowly becoming Solo Sikoa's enforcer. Obviously, one big upset happened weeks ago where I believe Henry squashed the beef with Wesley. But right now, he is starting to take some shots here. Ducks the line, comes back with his own. Oramensa's not getting into this, and now, yep, Dar, you might be taunting, you might be getting cocky, but now you're going for a ride. Yeeted into the top rope. Oramensa, he tries to capitalize on Dar's quote-unquote distraction. But he's going to eat a headbutt, and well, Dar's put down. Finally, Henry isolating off one of the members of Metaphor. Mensa watching on as Dar, well, could have been in trouble. Henry picks him up. Bear hug applied. Dar breaks up the bear hug. But once again, it is Mark Henry controlling the action. Even in a 1v2, he is so goddamn strong. And well, Dar eats the world's strongest slam. Planted down, Mensa's on the ropes. Down for the count, only gonna get a 1. And Moro tried to capitalize on the, well, Henry leaving that pinned state. And well, he can't do so. And now Henry has Noam Dar in his sights. Takes the back. This is going to be a dominator. Plants him down. Mensa trying to strike through. Dar capitalizing. And now the Ravaged Wolves can start to work. This is the situation Mark Henry wanted to avoid. Not being overwhelmed by his opponents. Dar set to fly. Hits Henry through the ropes, and Mark hits the ring, well, announce table. Oh, big shot there from Noam Dar. In a matchup like this, there is no countouts. But that's a lariat. Mensa saves Dar, but Dar gets colossed. That half Nelson slam beautifully executed by Henry. And Dar just connected onto Aura Mensa, giving Mark an opportunity to take out Oro in this situation. But Dar trying to spike. Not going to be able to get it, as he can't get the big man off his feet for long enough. Dar sends Henry back into the ring, but this is an opportune moment that Dar's got to take. The kendo stick shot. Getting dirty with it. And Mensa trying to just live Henry. It's not going to work. Dar catching Henry. And this is the pack mentality. Once you get him down, it certainly becomes a lot easier to keep him there. Oro heads up top. Drops the elbow. Chair shot connects barely. But it does the damage. The second shot will not, but that Superman punch will do something. Henry being stopped in his tracks. here by Oro and Noam. Sent into the table here at ringside. And you kind of have to wonder, is this the turning point that the metaphor needed to put away Mark Henry? Well, while we were focused in on the taunting, Henry has just flattened Dar. Oro comes through with a discus forearm. Mark, he needs to certainly stop this. Overwhelmed right now. Dar's feeling confident as Mensah sizing up the target. The super kick connects. This is just a disruptive force as Dar might have clipped Oro Mensah there. Pinfall attempt. 1. And it's immediately kicked out of here by Mark Henry. Another kendo stick swing. Felt like it connected onto Dar more than Henry. It certainly is that way inclined as Henry back to his feet. Striking now. He's got Dar on the run, and, well, he's got to deliver a power slam. Runs the ropes, and boom, the big body collides onto Oro Mensah. Dar, a clubbing blow to the back, and hello, you felt this before. World's Strongest Slam puts him down. Mark Henry now has the ring fully in control. I don't know why he picked Oro Mensah up. Maybe it was to set him up. Boom! Power slam puts him down. Mensah forced to roll out. And now it's Mark and Dar able to battle inside the ring. And the World's Strongest Man looking to add 2 men tonight to the Hall of Pain. The Scottish Supernova, though, connecting and bloodying Mark Henry. And a 2 count off of that. Big time connection there, but Mensah can't follow up. And now Dar has to do something here to Mark Henry to keep control. As the 2 Metaphor members size up Henry. Who's going to connect here first? The double axe going to do something. As the pinfall comes through. 1, 2. And a kick out by Henry. Just pushing Mensah off of him. The weight. Just easily shifted here by Henry. Who catches the big shot. He's sent running. And collides onto Dar. Flatliner from Dar. Goes for the pin. Is Henry down for the count? The answer's no. He's staying alive. But he's avoiding shots left, right, and center here. And dealing with 2 men as he's got Oro up. Power slam down. Can't run the ropes because Dar's catching him. DDT. What a Scottish Supernova. I refuse to call him the Supernova 11. But this could be huge for, well, the Metaphor, who now could have made a fatal mistake. And, well, Dar's caught in a bear hug. The life being sucked out of him. Mensah needs to break this up. In fact, it's going to be Dar who breaks it up. Clapping the ears. And a back fist connecting there onto Henry. Remember, the only way to win this match is pinfall or submission inside the ring. Dar avoids the flattening, but the second shot he can't avoid. He is on the receiving end of some heavy punishment as his head almost comes colliding into the ring post. Henry fired up here. Mensah's blowing us a kiss. Nice to see as, well, Dar's sent into steel steps. Mensah's returned into the ring. The Scottish Supernova laid out flat. And Mark, he's got Mensah hooked up, planted with the World's Strongest Slam into the cover. 1, 2, and Dar's in to break it up. Flatliner from Dar. The tide's turning again. Is the Metaphor in control? The Scottish Super Knee connecting. Then Champagne Supernova connecting. And well, the Metaphor earned victory here in a 2v1. But let's be honest. This was way too close for a 2v1. Tara and Mensa almost threw it away when Mark Henry started swinging for the fences. Shot after shot connected. But Da, in the end, that shot there, sealing the deal. He saved the matchup for the team. Really, Da keeping this matchup alive for the Metaphor. But as we watch these replays, yes, it's only showing the greatest hits from the Metaphor, but let's be honest, Mark Henry's shots certainly were better, as here we see it. The world's strongest slam, bam, plants him down. And this would have been 3 if it weren't for the man hitting the backside of Henry. There's the kill shot that sealed the deal for the Metaphor tonight.
Here are your winners, Noam Dar and Oro Mensah, Metaphor!
A good performance by the Metaphor, I guess. But if this was an even playing field, you kind of have to feel it would not go this way again. But we will see in the future if that continues to happen, as we now pan it over for our next bout tonight. It's going to be a doozy. A very big old doozy. As we head to the women's tag team division, or the focus is primarily on that instead of anything else. It's not for the women's sapphire belt or the ruby belt. No. They're not in focus here tonight. It is our women's tag titles at this bout. Let's see what happens here, as we've got big time action on our hands. Because it's time for a hot mess to take center stage. Already this week we've seen tag team action where gold shifts hands.
Is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring, accompanied by Piper Niven from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, Chelsea Green.
Green, he's ready to go toe to toe with, well, a team that Niven and Green have kind of been dealing with, have dealt with. As well, last time these two teams kind of met up, it was in tag action. This obviously a singles match where Green is competing. She looks ready. Tonight she's going up against this team. But which member of the Bella Twins is it?
Accompanied by Nick E. Bell R. Representing Pretty Mean Sisters from San Diego, California, Britt Bell R.
Well, it seems that Bree is going to be going toe to toe with the Bellas. Well, with Green, sorry, I should say. Can she do it is the real question. Bree looks hyped. The more technically savvy Bella. bringer of submission offense, the bringer of high-flying excitement. Brie can really do her a solid over her opponents, but let's be honest, the biggest damaging maneuver that Brie has is her entrance theme. Anywho, as we focus back into the matchup, Green, as expected, getting worked over here by Brie. Niven stepping up, might have been getting involved there, but not going to be the case. As that's cattle mutilation locked in, and that is a weird view to be seeing of that. Green escapes it quite quickly. Well, that was a weird arm drag takedown there by Brie Bella. She continues to control the early goings of this battle. As Green, caught, tied up, sent running into the ropes, and well, that's a nice snap suplex. Brie Bella, obviously a former Divas champion. Solid in-ring prowess that she possesses. Realistically, she could do well at becoming maybe, or if she does ever step back in the ring, she could be a WWE Women's World Champ. Right now, focuses on the IPW Women's Tag Team Championships as the face gets pulled. Woo! Love that maneuver. The best maneuver in IPW. Green performs it to perfection. As well now, the focus is on to damaging the legs of Brie. Stomping now on the chest as well. Green, we've seen, has become this weird kind of star where she's struggling to kind of pick up momentum in IPW. Obviously a former TV champion, now utilizing backup from her partner Piper Niven. And Green, gonna fly, connects with the double axe to the back. And this is good work for Green, who's taking it to Bella now. Brie receiving end of some heavy shots as the referee's got a kendo stick under her feet. He's going to look to remove it as the Rough Rider from the second rope misses. Brie capitalizes a big ripcord forearm smash. And now dropping the leg down. And Brie now delivering the yes kicks. Channeling her husband with that shot. Almost taking the skull off because that's a setup for the S-lock, the LaBelle lock. It's got plenty of names. And this one almost seems over. Brie snapping over the neck of Green. And the referee is currently being distracted. This is Green's opportunity to take over. She drops the boots into the face of Brie. This is good for Green. Gets her into this match. She gets some time to control. Heads up top here. Not something you typically see out of Chelsea. Well, that's why. Missing with the splash. Brie's going to go for the pin, capitalizing on the mistake. Only going to net herself for 2. Brie charging in. Beautiful boots to the face. And it is big time offense connecting here from Brie. She avoids a shot back from Green. Brings the head of Green crashing into the mat once more. And this is certainly a pretty potent situation to be in if you're Green. You're struggling to deal with a wrestler who's returning to singles action. But that's an unprettier. This could be the change of the tune needed. A slow count there. The referee not playing favors to Green here with that slow count. But that's kind of expected considering the hassle that Niven's giving on the outside. Once again now, Chelsea in control as delivering some punishment now to Bree, removing the damage that could be done with them arms, but don't get me wrong. Bree isn't known for typically arm maneuvers, more so for the kicks, the strikes, and the grappling. As well, Nikki getting involved, distracting Green. Turnabout is fair play, but this one obviously against the actual competitor instead of the referee. Bree gonna go round the world tornado DDT. Plants the skull of Chelsea Green into the mat and add another knee to the face, and that's a busted up Chelsea. Thankfully for her, her gear's red, so blood on it won't be noticeable. But that's noticeable. A Bella Buster planting Green into the mat. Pinfall attempt. This has been systematic destruction. Almost gets the win off of that. But it isn't enough just yet. Still have time before this bout reaches a climax. Bree setting up Green. Springboard crossbody off the middle rope. Dropping Green down, and well, I think it's time for that trademark Bella dropkick. The missile to fly. Too predictable. Green catches her. Rough Rider plants her down. Pinfall attempt. Green, has she got it here? Gets her 2 over Bree. That usually is a precursor to a maneuver we've already seen tonight. Hooks her up and drops her with an unpretty her. Bree's down for the count. 1, 2. Almost gets it. Almost sealing the deal. Stomping away at the arm and now damaging the chest again is Chelsea. And let's be honest. Green with Niven right there staring at Bree. Green has got the best opportune moment to win. Not going to run in. Instead slows it down. And sends Bree running. Smart. If it weren't for the fact that Bree can fire back with some shots. Punches to the gut and Bella. Separation is caused. Both bodies collide and Bree capitalizes crucifix bomb. Puts down Chelsea Green. Green's not staying down too easily. Fights back to her feet and now pops her up with a flatliner. Beautifully executed. We've seen a few of them. And that one is certainly different to the one we saw in our previous match by Noam Dar. High elevation spiking the head compared to the just sheer drop flatliner. But as we turn our attention back to this match, the big boot here from Green. She's fought well back into this, considering how dominant the early goings were for Bree. Chelsea's done a good job as she drops the elbow. You kind of think that she may be looking to bust open Bree, turn about some of that karma. But now she's instead going to look to end it. And Prettier connects and she goes for the cover, scampering in. The referee's down for the count. And that is going to do it. Green nets victory. That, looking at how this bout started, seemed doubtful. These yes kicks coming through quick succession. And the offense that did follow from Bree in the early going certainly felt that, yeah, this was done and dusted. Game over. But Green found the opportunity to land this initial and prettier. And from there, it became a little bit more of an even affair. There's the Bella Buster. Viking Green's head into the mat. And to be honest, it was very much a back and forth affair through the middle stages, but closing it out, sealing the deal, all came at the hands of Chelsea Green. And this ending the match in a fashion favorable to Green. And this is huge in terms of victories for Green and Niven. This is their first big victory in a while. And considering they lost to the Bellas a couple of weeks ago, could we be beginning to see maybe a return to singles action for Chelsea? Well, we've got a champion in Nia Jax looking for a challenger.
Here is your winner, Chelsea Green.
So potentially that could be a Green situation in the future. Who knows? But as it stands right now, it's Green and Niven standing tall here on Breakdown. And that certainly, as a match, just fills me with joy. Because now we're going to change the tempo considerably. Because that match was quite slow, let's be honest. So why not? Let's take it up a notch. Let's add in some flavor. And it's going to be good flavor. So much that I need a drink. Well, drink secure, let's get into one of the big boy bouts of tonight. Because this one is about to be phenomenal. With the arrival of AJ Styles into the building. Cue the fireworks. Styles is set to fly and bring the offense.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Couldn't help but mimic Mike Rome's voice there, delivering the intro for the Phenomenal One. And let's be honest, Styles, as soon as he gets off that ramp, he quickens the pace to get in the ring, and then the pace never slows down once the action begins. That being said, over the years, Styles has developed himself into a more well-rounded fighter. Originally known for being a cruiserweight high-flying offense and speed, he's picked up a bit more of a technical wrestling prowess as he's grown with age. As for his opponent, he embodies the lucha style with zero fear behind him. Fires burn and the spinner spins. It's time for Penta to face the Phenomenal One.
And his opponent from Ecatepec, Mexico, weighing in at 87 kilos, Penta!
Let's just get to the chase. Penta, phenomenal as a fighter. Going up against AJ Styles, a different kettle of fish tonight. As he takes a step towards potentially challenging one of our two top dogs, top billings here on Breakdown. You've got the likes of Drew McIntyre, Will Ospreay in that sentiment. AJ Styles, certainly a good step up in competition for Penta. Styles, a former challenger for the Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. And he's immediately eating a sling blade from Penta to start this one off. And as we say, technical wrestling, a style that's been picked up recent or in the latter years of his career here for AJ. So you expect collar and elbows, that chain grappling to favor him. But right now, he is eating sling blade after sling blade. It's Penta. He's just firing off shots. And tie up for the second time. The first one went in favor of AJ. And the second, the same story. He locks up Penta in the headlock. And it's able to escape, getting waist control here. This is his comeback. His fight back into the chain grappling. But no, immediately punishment coming out from AJ as he takes him down. And his feet are in the ropes. Our referee not really going to care about that, even though this is a submission hold technically. Solo's clearly paying our referees not to check for submissions here tonight, not as well as check for basically any countouts, because who cares about them? We do not want them. But regardless of that, focusing into the matchup, Penta gets the better of AJ out of that position. Can't connect on the run-in, but is able to fire back with some kicks and behind the knee. AJ caught and sent to the apron. Penta is trying to drop him, but Styles no caught. He fires back, but it's that step-up enziguri from Penta that swings the details in his favor again. And Penta, he's calling up Styles here. What could he be looking for? Well, that might have been a super kick that the boots caught from AJ. He sent Penta running. No, Penta sent him running. And again, these big shots are connecting. And this could be bad for Styles. Penta hooks him up and DDTs him on the apron. Teardrop impact from Penta. Now is he looking for that super kick? Well, it's not going to come flying. Instead, around the world, planting AJ down. Styles has been on the receiving end for a lot of this matchup. And he's going to eat. Oh, big time impact there. And the glove's coming off now. And that slap's going to hit harder if Penta opts to go for it again. Styles catches him. This might be the turning point that Styles needs. Springboard offense inbound. Over the top. Phenomenal DDT. Puts the head of Penta into the mat. And he fires back with a combo. Power is also something that AJ's picked up into his arsenal as his gears have gone over. Hangman's neck breaker. He still brings that innovative offense, that unique style that makes him one of the hottest prospects in wrestling. Former world champion in New Japan as well as WWE. Styles is an it man, a made man, a big time player when it comes to wrestling. Penta, though, he's had enough. Roll up, trying to steal the victory, can't get it. Instead, Mexican Destroyer out of that roll up. Maybe it was more so a bait to get Styles close to set it up, but it was impactful. And now Penta may have been going Penta driver, but now he's caught, hooked up for the Styles Clash. Busted open as well. Styles looking for the win. Gets a 2. but the 3 is going to take some time. Because Penta isn't going to go down without a bit more of a fight. Irish whip puts Styles in the corner. Penta's feeling himself now. Boom, kick connects, sweeps out legs, up through. Handstand, boom, drop kick. Connecting with that. Just with great ease. Penta knows how to pick the pace up, but he also knows how to connect. Frog splash off the middle rope. Down for the count is AJ. Able to kick out at 2. Super kick connects. And Penta's fired up after connecting. Goes off the top. Springboard. Leg drop. Beautifully executed. Styles caught. Penta. Boom. Down with the Penta driver. Into the pin he goes. Unable to get the win just yet. Styles caught Sling Blade again. Penta is utilizing that to cause some havoc. Runs the ropes. This could be a big knee. No, it's a Shining Wizard. Now Penta has Styles up. Ooh! Powerbomb into the knee. This is Penta picking up the pace. The Irish whip sends Styles in. Eats the backstabber. And Penta goes for the cover. You could see the visible pain from Styles. But he's still able to fight. Still able to keep on swinging. As we hand the camera around here to get a better view. Because this situation getting very dire for AJ. Forced to go, calf killer. Can't get the dub just yet. A rope break call, but AJ in control. Tries to maybe go Styles Clash. Penta not having it. Instead, it's going to be Penta hooking up AJ. Bang! Penta driver. Sends AJ crashing into the mat. The pinfall coming through. 1, 2, through. No. This is certainly a step up in competition for Penta, but I didn't expect it to be this lopsided. Penta is certainly putting a name in contention for championship gold, championship glory here in IPW. There's the Sling Blade coming through. Now he's sizing up AJ. He tried this earlier. This time he connects. The thrust kick. Doing some work here as AJ back to his feet. Penta. Springboard offense. Boom. Barely clipping AJ, but it's enough to drop him. AJ really does not want to be hit with that sacrifice. Back to his feet. Back to chopping away at Penta. Penta catching AJ yet again. It's that Sling Blade. Penta knows it. He did the spinny whirly thing there in that taunt. He knows what he must do. He must keep AJ down. Sure, is he spamming the same move? Abso-goddamn-lutely. But does it mean that he isn't going to try and win? But AJ, oh, he catches him. Power bombs down Penta. Down for only a 1. I thought for a moment Penta would have been caught and maybe put into the Styles Clash, but no, AJ not going to opt for that instead. The power bomb. Cause and effect for that situation. Irish whip, drop kick misses. Penta springboard misses. Both men can't connect, and now it's AJ caught, hooked up. Penta brings him up. Powerbomb fought out of. AJ not going to go down. And now it's down for Styles to maybe catch. No, Penta. No, AJ. No, neither man. Finally, AJ grabs a hold of Penta. Takes him up. Hangman's neck breaker. executed, and both men are down for the count. AJ, the first to return to his feet. Only for a moment, because it's swept out from underneath him by Penta. He's now sizing up AJ. Super no caught, and a big fist connects, and AJ takes the back. Torture rack position. Penta out of it, realizes the danger a submission possesses, gets out there, now calls AJ back to his feet. No, doesn't connect with the boot, and AJ fires back, catching Penta, rolls him through, calf killer applied, but that foot is well and truly in the ropes. AJ has Penta on the rope, literally. Heads to the middle rope. Springboard connects, beautifully executed. Shotgun dropkick there from the Phenomenal One. He's lining up. Penta pops him up and sets him up. Styles Clash connects. And Penta is down for the count. But he's still surviving. AJ, backbreaker, beautiful combo. That lethal combination, some may call it, and he's going to utilize it. No, won't be able to utilize it. Penta gets out of it, but this he can't. Torture rack position. Burning hammer from Styles. Executed excellence from the Phenomenal One. Misses with the roundhouse. Penta connects with the punch and kicks back, but AJ fires back. Arm drag from AJ. He's quickening the pace. Up to the shoulders, fireman's carry. Oosh-garoosh. The knee to the back of the neck. AJ is popping off right now, and he's got Penta on the ropes. No, Penta fighting out of it. Not going to go for that Styles Clash just yet. Instead, it's, well, both men colliding. Penta swinging wildly. Eats a lethal in combination once again. Both bodies down for the count once more. Penta and AJ both to their feet at the same time, but Penta utilizing the ropes, getting caught in the corner, but he fires back, catching AJ. AJ now into the things, grabs a hold of Penta, takes him back to a corner. Remember, Penta was busted open earlier in the match, so shots to the head could be potentially more dangerous. It could induce a concussion, but AJ, he does not care. He just wants the W now. Penta has taken him to war. And this could be it. Not in the ropes. Well, no, this time he is, actually. Penta's foot barely there, but our referee calls it. The Phenomenal One set to fly. Phenomenal forearm strikes. AJ connects. He can't get the Styles Clash. Go for your next best weapon and earn that victory. My word, what a performance. We said the pace was going to quicken. We said this is deserving of a main event booking, and my word, these two certainly delivered on that statement. Just back and forth, battling through it all. But in the end, only one man could be victorious. And it's going to be the Phenomenal One who nets the victory. Down for the count went Penta off of a change-up of attack. Styles kept trying to maybe pop Penta up into the Styles Clash. He could not do it. And in the end, just going for the Phenomenal Forearm, change of style, caused Penta to expect something that isn't coming. Solid wrestling by both men, as stated. But yeah, we see it here. AJ potentially could have gone Styles Clash caught. He's going to get Penta driven into the mat. Here's that pop-up Styles Clash connecting. Just a change of avenue to get to the position. While it didn't net the victory, this did. That Phenomenal Forearm clashing into the face of Penta. We already said Penta was busted open, could be concussed. And AJ sealed the deal.
Here is your winner, the Phenomenal
Certainly a phenomenal performance here by both men. Honestly, could be match of the month. And granted, we only have today for that title. But it is, for now, match of the month. And, well, with it, we move into the co-main event. The actual co-main event. We already spoke about it earlier. But now it's going to take center stage. It's Flair. It's Sky, who walks away one step closer to a title shot with Liv Morgan. Let's find out right now. Out first, it's the Queen. Flair, confident.
Is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from the Queen City, Charlotte Flair.
Flair, we know, as the pyro goes off, a potent threat to really any title here in IPW. She had a chance at Fallon Henley. Didn't get the job done there, but then headed into that hiatus, the showdown. She was not in that tournament, remember. She had a break, she had time to recover. Whereas this woman, as the Wub Wubs begin, we get to talk about the fact she was runner-up in that Road to the Showdown.
Representing Damage Control from Tokyo, Japan, Io Sky.
Sky did wondrous things during the Road to the Showdown. She beat Fallon Henley, which granted she technically is deserving of a title shot against her. Did not receive that, obviously, because she was drafted to break down. Now she goes up and potentially has a second chance, a second shot to face Liv Morgan. That obviously is something that we've got to keep our eyes on. Because right now, the focus is that Morgan could be a second coming of Fallon Henley, the immovable object as champion. Get this underway, and it's Flair taking out the legs of Io. Obviously, Io likes to pick up the pace early, go with speed to start it off, but Flair going to take away that potential offense by just taking out said legs. It's beautifully executed here by Flair to start this one off. Now, as we watch how this, you kind of have to wonder who will pick up the W here. As we know that there is technically a Rhea Ripley hiding in the shadows, waiting for the winner to basically beat him. Because Rhea is, as we know, she's dominant in her performances, and right now, it is going to be hard for any of these women to step up to her to get that title shot outside of her, basically. And as we focus in on this matchup, Flair is certainly doing the job over Io, a woman who, in real life, has beaten Rhea. And Rhea is yet to beat her in competition in God knows how many years. And I, for one, really am kind of hoping that we get to see that battle, as this wrist lock is currently being applied by Io, forcing Flair into an awkward situation. And this is kind of awkward to me to see, as Flair known more for being the technical wrestler of the two. Finally, she takes control with this side headlock. And to be honest, you expect maybe Io to wear down the legs, but she's able to push Flair off right now. Drop kick to said legs. And that is good signs if you're an Io Sky fan, that she's able to go towards that game plan. Sky caught. Flair drops the leg. Showstopper. The hog log dropped across that neck of Sky by Flair. And Flair, not one to slow down. Always keeping on the offensive. Remember, former champion in WWE. Current tag team champion, I should say, as well. As Io roll-up attempt here. Not going to net the victory off of that, but certainly sets up a good standing. But Flair hits the spear. Io nips up, catching Flair. The pace quickening. Io fired up. Has Flair trapped in the corner. Not going to go Spanish Fly instead. Takes the back, pushes her in, head smashing in. And Flair in trouble. As Sky putting the boots to her and just standing on the neck. That is brutal as the boots come in. Eddie Guerrero coming out from Sky. As she heads to her apron. Up top she goes. The slow climb for the Genius of the Sky, who drops the elbow. Flair tried to get up, but could not avoid it. And eats a 2 count for that effort. Io coming through. Stamping on the foot there. Certainly innovative. But nowhere to run now. Caught by Flair, who's going to the legs. We know it. You hate it. The figure 4 locked in. And all it takes is a bridging up. And Flair's in the figure 8. Io not going to tap to it. Not yet, anyway. Flair needs to do a little more. Insult to injury. Coming through as a slow count from our referee. Clearly Flair might have upset him. I wonder why. Big Man Craigie, not one to easily be offended. But he certainly has been here as Flair sizes up Io. The big boot connects, dropping Sky. Sky, though, back to her feet. Knees to the back of Flair. Remember, Flair is in the drop zone. Not going to get caught. Now Io caught up top, maybe. Does fly. Hits the drop kick. And heads back up once more. Flair in the drop zone yet again. And the Genius of the Sky hits the over the moonsault. Planted directly onto Flair for a 2. You kind of have to think if Io is going to go for the win. Maybe a Koji clutch is inbound. Shote connects. It would be a statement, certainly, if Flair gets tapped out by Sky. That would certainly be a story maker. Big DDT from Io. Puts down Flair, followed up with an Ariva Dirty knee. And Flair's in that drop zone. Yet again. But Sky not going to fly from the top rope. Instead, springboard, boots to the face. And now, Sky heads up top. She's climbing around like a monkey because she keeps flying, keeps connecting. The over the moonsault for the 2nd time lands perfectly. Sky just destroying Charlotte Flair. And you gotta feel that this is going to be a rematch between Io and Rhea next week. Dodges the line, but caught in the grasp of Flair is Sky. Put in the corner. Flair, is she going to give a big boot? No, it's a big forearm smash. That cleave to the face. Goes for the pin. I don't think that's enough damage to net the win, though. And the Sky reciprocates with a kick out. Flair yet again. Woo! Calls it into the figure 4. And that's usually a sign for an ending. Not going to bridge up. Instead, it's just the figure 4. Io does not tap out. Sky. Them legs must be like jelly. Because Flair has just decimated him. And I think she's going for it again. Indeed she is. Locks it in. Figure 4 applied. Bridging back into the figure 8. Io fights out of it. Good work by Sky to stay alive, but Flair, we know, once she gets in control, it is yet again a hard thing to stop. Shoulder breaker from Flair as the pinfall comes through. And the referee counts the 2. Io with a roll-up. She's caught Flair. 1, 2. No, near fall. And Sky, she's firing back here. Because Flair is giving it her all, but Flair, we know, can do some dangerous things. Beautiful drop kick from Io. Sky is showing why she is a former contender. Why both these ladies are former contenders for the top belts. Both wanting that shot yet again. Remember, Lash Legend was a woman beaten by Io to get to this situation. As for Flair, she took it on the same goddamn show to Asuka. A close friend of Io. Shote connects here by Sky. Flair is in a precarious position. Boots connecting. I thought maybe a Koji clutch was coming, but that's a snap German. That had severe impact written all over it. A scoop. Slam. Down planted is Flair. That was a Macho-esque slam. And this is a Macho-esque. No, it's not going to be that. Avoided shot after shot here. Both women trading position. The boots connect here from Io. Forcing Flair to crawl to the corner. And she connects with the Meteora. Drags Flair out. And stomping all over her. Pinfall attempt here for Sky. 1, 2, 3. No. The near fall. The shoulder barely up for Flair. Barely up is enough, really. That's all you need. But this is what Io needs. That flatliner into the Koji clutch. Will she get the tap out? Yes, she does. Statement made. Sky victorious. The statement we talked about, we mentioned at the start of the bout. It'd be poetic if Io tapped out Flair. And well, that is what we got. Io, my word, she was getting beaten, lambasted to start this off. But Flair, one slip up, and Io took control. And with it, the bout went in her favor. I need to sort something real quick, so apologies. But yes, as we watch these replays, that tap out coming from the Koji clutch, you've got to have that feeling that Sky could be #1 contender yet again. A challenge could be coming for Liv Morgan, one of which that I really cannot wait to see. But now, this bout in the books, Sky victorious. Attention goes to the main event. And what a main event it will be, folks. Oh boy. Oh, I'm already pumped up for it. Really pumped up for it. It is a one-on-one matchup in the men's division. And it's two technical wrestling giants going toe-to-toe. Who will take the W here? Let's find out, buckaroos. Let's find out. Because it's time to get British with the style. Technical wrestling prowess.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from England, weighing in at 211 pounds, Zack Saban Jr.
Junior or Saber. One of the best to ever do it out of the UK. TMDK represented here tonight by him. Zack, we know, can bring such a unique style. Innovative in the technical wrestling game. You think that everyone who faces him, they grow, they learn that any limb, ligament, you name it, is potentially at risk when facing Zack Sabre Jr. But a limb that Sabre has to be protective of in this one is that ankle. One of his ankles anyway.
And his opponent, representing American-made from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 202 pounds, Chad Gable.
Gable. A man on a mission here to go up against ZSJ. And let's be honest, this could be a pretty bad battle for him in his debut. Zack Sabre Jr. beat Wesley, a man who we've obviously talked about earlier tonight, for a man who's beaten Mark Henry in IPW. Ole, 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 ringing out inside the breakdown arena for Chad Gable. As a referee, drawn for the action is Kevin. As these two stars tie up, you expect this to be quite an even affair for technical wrestling. Gable, obviously a former Olympian for wrestling, so his style's certainly very potent, but Zack, potent in the wrestling game as well, the technical wrestling style. Armbar across the top rope. Our referee needs to be a bit more on it here to break them up, because that is certainly a rope break. Nice takedown there by Gable. You can see Sabre certainly frustrated by it. Zack using his heavyweight prowess to take down Gable. As they tie up for a third time, he's going to power Gable into the corner. Will we get a clean break? The answer is yes. Respect between two strong grapplers being shown by no cheap shots thrown. These strikes certainly powerful, as there's a Kimura locked in for Sabre. Remember, Sabre can lock in submissions at any position he chooses to. Gable caught. Nice shot there from Sabre, but caught. Snap German. We're in for a treat here between these two. Pinfall attempt. One. And a kick out. Sabre receiving into some punishment here from Chad. Technical wrestling. Certainly potent here as well. We're seeing some bit more of a brawl kicking off this one. Nice leapfrog there from Sabre. Followed up with a kick to the chest. Now he's lining up Gable. I think he might be trying to take the head off. Boom, the PK. Scores the touchdown. But a snap German from Gable evens the playing field. Both men battered, laid down right now. Gable fires back with a big boot. He drops down Sabre and goes for a dirty pin. Sabre caught, the ankle picked. This is what Gable's been looking for. The first big submission locked in. Zach able to find out of it. But Sabre now has Gable up. Brings him down with a cradle. Big time offense there. Nets the 2. Both these stars really giving it their all here. Gable lining up Sabre for something. Punch can't connect. Instead, now it's going to be Gable caught as Sabre dragon screw leg whip puts him down. Targeting that knee here is Sabre. Now he's got Gable hooked up through the ropes. The referee needs to step in there. Not going to do so. Instead, Gable forced to roll out. A Sabre climbs up top. Not something you typically see from him. Tries to drop the axe, misses. Gable going to capitalize on the mistake. Catching, DDTing, planting Sabre's head into that. Beautiful Fisherman's Buster by Gable. And now a snap German. You gotta feel the tides turning. Head scissor takedown. Executed perfectly by Gable. Something my pronunciation wasn't doing. Gable heads up top. Beautiful moonsault. Bringing it to sack Sabre into the pin for the 2. It's only a 2. ZSJ caught. And I think he might be going for a bit of a roll. Deadlift German. And the straps come down. That's not a good sign if you're a Zack Sabre Jr. fan. Because Gable is looking to end it. Takes the back. No, can't get it. And Sabre, now he's in control. Misses though. Lariat out from Gable, realizing the mistake. Could Sabre be in trouble? Hooked up. Fisherman suplex. Puts him down. And Gable heads up top once more. Drops the head into the gut. Just a flying goat from Gable. And now the ankle targeted and locked up for a second time. That left leg being torqued and wrenched on. But it's not enough. And Gable knows it as he continues to work over it. Put in deep offense. Drops the elbow across the knee. A nip up from Sabre, but he's caught immediately. Catches Gable back on the shots and puts him in the corner. Irish whip. Sabre in. Up over the top he goes. Runs the ropes. Ducks the line. Boom. Big right. Connects onto Gable. Sabre caught once again. Gable sends him running. Boot caught. Gable caught. And now Sabre. Is it his chance to land some big offense? The answer to that is an Irish whip. And neither man hitting. Sabre takes down Gable. Shots connecting here. Boot to the stomach. Gable hooked up. Fisherman's cradle. Boom. Down he goes. 1, 2, 3. Sabre's victorious. and Gable for the dub. And you can see visibly he's happy as that's Will Ospreay. The stare down of the century. As these two have unfinished business here in IPW. It was Sabre, remember, who came down, showed his face at an end of a Will Ospreay match. And now it is Will doing the same thing to a Sabre match. Who, though? Oh, it looks like we've got a date for Destiny for the Emerald Belt. This champion, Will Ospreay and Zack Sabre Jr. will be coming to a head. That certainly could be an epic bout. But yes, with it, the show ends like that, on that cliffhanger. How will those two settle the score? We shall see in the future. Next week, we return to regularly scheduled IPW showcasing. Prime time on Tuesday, breakdown on Thursdays. Thank you for joining me tonight for Breakdown. See you guys for Prime Time next week. Peace out.